Hello, LiveLaw viewers, and welcome to Courts Today. Here are today's top legal headlines. The National Green Tribunal has asked an activist to submit evidence on alleged environmental violations in renovating Shah Rukh Khan's residence, Mannat. Centre has told the Delhi High Court that suspension of Wrestling Federation of India has been revoked. Justice Gavai has remarked that relying on AI for legal research is risky, and platforms like ChatGPT have generated fake case citations. The Madras High Court has stayed Enforcement Directorate's attachment of Director Shankar's property over a copyright dispute. The apex court in a matter has exempted the wife from paying stamp duty for a flat acquired as part of compromise in a divorce case. And the apex court has stated that when selection is based entirely on interview marks, it is reasonable to presume existence of arbitrariness and favoritism. I'm your host, Urvashi Chauhan, bringing you the latest legal updates that matter the most. From key court rulings to significant legal developments, we have it all covered for you. Watch till the end for a complete roundup, and if you find this update useful, make sure to like, share and subscribe. The Western Zone Bench of the National Green Tribunal has directed activist Santosh Daudkar to submit evidence supporting his claims regarding environmental violations in Shah Rukh Khan's plan to add 2 additional floors to his 6-story Mumbai residence, Mannat. Daudkar has challenged the coastal regulation zone clearance granted for the project. For those of you who might not know, the coastal regulation zone is a designated area along India's coastline where certain activities are regulated to protect coastal ecosystems, prevent environmental degradation and ensure sustainable development. Daudkar has alleged that Khan had demolished 2 heritage structures between the years 2000 and 2006 without obtaining the necessary environmental clearance from the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. That the plot was originally reserved for an art gallery in the statutory development plan, which was deleted without mandatory permission from the Maharashtra Coastal Zone Management Authority. Additionally, it has been claimed that Khan had constructed 12 one-bedroom flats for mass housing but later merged them into a luxury single-family residence in violation of Urban Land Ceiling and Regulation Act of 1976. The NGT bench noted that the alleged violations date back to the years 2000 to 2006 and might not be relevant to the present appeal. However, the tribunal acknowledged that the CRZ clearance for Mannat's expansion was granted on 3rd January this year, making the activist's appeal within the 30-day limitation period. The tribunal pointed out that the CRZ clearance appears to comply with Clause 8 of the CRZ notification of 2019. It has now directed Daudkar to submit specific evidence of any violations by actor Shah Rukh Khan or the MCZMA within 4 weeks, warning that failure to comply would result in the dismissal of the appeal at the admission stage itself. Stay tuned as the matter will now be taken up on 23rd April. In the next update, the central government has revoked the suspension of Wrestling Federation of India, which was imposed by the Union Sports Ministry in December 2023. This decision was conveyed to the Delhi High Court through an official order from the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, restoring WFI's recognition as the National Sports Federation for Wrestling. If you recall, in August 2023, United World Wrestling banned WFI for failing to hold elections within the required time frame. This delay followed allegations of sexual harassment against former WFI President Brij Bhushan Singh and protests led by top wrestlers including Bajrang Punia, Vinesh Phogat and Sakshi Malik. In response, the Indian Olympic Association appointed an ad hoc committee to manage WFI's affairs. Elections were finally held in December 2023, resulting in Sanjay Singh's election as WFI president. However, wrestlers opposed his appointment, alleging that he was closely associated with Brij Bhushan Singh. Shortly after the elections, the Union Sports Ministry suspended WFI again, particularly after Sanjay Singh announced plans to host under 15 and under 20 national wrestling championships in Gonda, Uttar Pradesh. Following this suspension, an IOA ad hoc committee was reinstated to oversee WFI's operations. A division bench of Chief Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay and Justice Tushar Rao Gadela of Delhi High Court was considering an appeal filed by WFI against a single judge's decision from August 2023. The single judge had restored the mandate of the ad hoc committee appointed by IOA to oversee WFI's affairs. WFI argued in its appeal that neither the ad hoc committee nor the federation itself was in a position to prepare and send the national wrestling team for the Senior Asian Championships scheduled to begin on 23rd March in Jordan. Also, the union government had previously informed the court on 6th March this year that it was reviewing WFI's suspension. The division bench observed today that the single judge's order had stated that the ad hoc committee would continue only till the central government's suspension order remained in force. Since the suspension has now been revoked, the bench found no further need for adjudication and disposed of WFI's appeal. The bench also requested the single judge to expedite the proceedings in the related writ petition, which was filed by wrestlers Bajrang Punia, Vinesh Phogat, Sakshi Malik and Satyarath Kadyan, who had sought to prevent WFI's suspension from being lifted. Artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming an integral part of our daily lives. Tools like ChatGPT and other advanced AI systems have not only increased convenience but also made us increasingly dependent on them. While they enhance productivity and decision making, they also raise concerns about accuracy, ethics, and over-reliance. Justice Gavai of the Supreme Court has advocated caution while using artificial intelligence in the judiciary, while acknowledging that AI can be a beneficial tool to ease the administrative burden of case management and can be used for effective listing and scheduling of cases. Justice Gavai warned about the risks inherent in over-dependence on AI. Speaking at a conference organized by the Supreme Court of Kenya, Justice Gavai said that AI-powered scheduling tools have been integrated into case management systems to allocate court dates intelligently, balancing the workload of judges and ensuring optimal use of court resources. However, he said that use of AI for legal research has given rise to certain ethical concerns, as there have been instances where platforms like ChatGPT have generated fake citations and fabricated legal facts. While AI can process vast amounts of legal data and provide quick summaries, it lacks the ability to verify sources with human-level discernment. This, he said, has led to situations where lawyers and researchers trusting AI-generated information have unknowingly cited cases that do not exist or misleading legal precedents, resulting in professional embarrassment and potential legal consequences. Significantly, Justice Gavai also expressed concern about the content creators misusing live-streamed court hearings by making short clips, often sensationalizing them and spreading misinformation. He said that such acts by content creators and YouTubers raise questions about the intellectual property rights and ownership of judicial proceedings. And he called for clear guidelines on the usage of live-streamed proceedings. Moving ahead, the Madras High Court today stayed Enforcement Directorate's provisional attachment of property worth 10 crore belonging to renowned Tamil filmmaker S. Shankar. The attachment was made in connection with the copyright infringement case related to the 2010 film Enthiran. The agency had provisionally attached the property on 17th February following a complaint by writer Arur Tamilnadan, who alleged that the storyline of Enthiran was inspired by his work Jugiba without due credit. Justifying the attachment, ED argued that offences under Copyright Act are considered scheduled offences under PMLA. Let me tell you here that in June 2023, a single judge of the Madras High Court had dismissed a civil suit filed by Tamilnadan against Shankar, ruling that copyright protection does not extend to mere ideas or concepts. The judge had also found no evidence to suggest that Enthiran was a direct imitation of Jugiba. A bench comprising Justices M.S. Ramesh and N. Senthil Kumar was hearing Shankar's plea challenging ED's action here. During the hearing, senior advocate P.S. Raman, appearing for Shankar, contended that ED's action was arbitrary, particularly in light of the earlier ruling that no copyright violation had occurred. He also disputed ED's claim that Shankar had received 11.5 crore from the project, stating that the payment was derived from other professional work and was unrelated to the allegations here. The bench raised concerns over ED's decision to take action based on an individual's complaint. The judges questioned whether the agency was justified in proceeding with the attachment without waiting for the outcome of the complaint. Responding to the court's queries, ED's counsel defended agency's actions, citing Supreme Court's ruling in Vijay Madan Lal Chaudhary, which affirmed ED's power to initiate proceedings based on individual complaints. He further argued that no harm had been caused to Shankar Shankar by the attachment, suggesting that judicial interference was unwarranted here. Well, after hearing both the sides, the court has directed Enforcement Directorate to file its response and has adjourned the matter to April 21st. Stay tuned. Coming to another update from the Supreme Court, which has ruled that a wife who received a flat as part of a compromise agreement with her husband in a matrimonial dispute is exempt from paying stamp duty under the Registration Act 1908. A bench comprising Justice Vikramnath and Justice Sandeep Mehta was considering the matter in a case where the husband and wife, during mediation proceedings related to their divorce, reached a settlement. The dispute centered on a flat in Bombay, with both parties claiming to have contributed to its purchase. As per the settlement, the husband agreed to relinquish his rights over the flat in favor of the wife, while the wife agreed to forego any claim for alimony. The key legal question before the court was whether the wife could obtain exclusive ownership of the flat without being required to pay stamp duty. The court, referring to Mukesh versus the state of Madhya Pradesh from 2024, held that since the flat was a part of compromise agreement during court proceedings, it was exempt from stamp duty under Section 17, subsection 2, Clause 6 of the Registration Act. The court observed, manifestly the flat in question is the subject matter of compromise, and as a consequence it forms part of the proceedings before the court. Hence, the exclusion provided by Registration Act will apply, and the registration of the flat in question is the exclusive name of the wife would be exempted from payment of stamp duty. Accordingly, the court has directed the sub-registrar to register the flat in the wife's name without requiring stamp duty payment. The applications under Article 142 of the Constitution were allowed, and the marriage was dissolved by mutual consent. With this, the marriage was dissolved by mutual consent. And lastly, the top court has upheld Assam government's 2016 decision to cancel a recruitment list for 104 constables in Assam Forest Protection Force. This list was originally created in 2014 under the previous Congress government, but was scrapped after the BJP came to power in 2016 due to irregularities in the selection process. A report by Principal Chief Conservator of Forests found major issues in the recruitment process. It revealed that 64 out of 104 selected candidates were from just two districts, that is Kamrup Metro and Kamrup Rural, while 16 other districts with 52% of Assam's population had no representation. Additionally, the reservation policy was violated as meritorious reserved category candidates were wrongly counted under their respective categories instead of the general category, which affected fair selection. Another major issue was the lack of transparency. The selection process was conducted solely through interviews without a written exam or formal recruitment rules, raising concerns about favoritism. The government feared that without clear recruitment rules, the process could be misused for personal bias and influence. So without conducting any inquiry, it cancelled the select list in July 2016, citing violations of reservation policy and Supreme Court guidelines. A fresh recruitment advertisement was then issued in April 2017. Aggrieved by this, the candidates challenged the cancellation in the Guwahati High Court, arguing that the entire recruitment process should not have been scrapped. The High Court agreed with them and ruled that the irregularities could have been fixed without cancelling the whole process. It also noted that no official inquiry had been conducted before the cancellation. So the Assam government appealed to the Supreme Court, which found that the timing of the recruitment coinciding with elections in May 2016 was not enough to declare it invalid. The court also held that even though the process was based on executive instructions instead of formal rules, it was still legally valid. However, the serious anomalies found in the PCCF report justified the cancellation. The bench of Justice Dipankar Datta and Justice Manmohan criticized the Guwahati High Court for interfering too much in the government's decision. It observed that the High Court acted like an appellate authority instead of simply reviewing the government's decision. The court emphasized that government had reasonable grounds to cancel the recruitment, as ensuring fair representation and transparency is a legitimate public interest. It further stated that courts should not interfere in well-intentioned policy decisions that promote fairness and inclusivity in public service.